From a gold-smuggling underworld erupting beneath our feet to fuel prices pulling in opposite directions, and South African exports taking a hit as US shipping lanes shut down for good. Today's show is all about fragile systems opposing pressure and the hidden battles shaping how this country is run. And don't miss the wildcard section as we take you to the stretch of land just outside Joburg that some people call the most important place on earth. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daily Bagel. If you like what we're building here, hit like, hit subscribe, and help us keep growing. And with all that in mind, it's time to ease those shoulders, take a breath, and a sip of that coffee, and let's get into it. So beneath the hills of Mpumalanga, there's a parallel economy running on stolen gold, desperate labor, and violent turf wars. You see, just this past week, police have arrested nearly 500 illegal miners as they resurfaced from the underground tunnels at the Sheba mine in Mpumalanga. Now, this is all part of a crackdown that has now seen over 4,000 arrests at Pan-African's resources mines in the past year alone. So most of those arrested are zamas, which is another word for informal miners, often illegal migrants who risk their lives deep in abandoned shafts. Because look, the terrain for it makes it easy. Barberton is full of exposed seams and 140-year-old dig sites. And so as a result, that's why the police have launched Operation Vala Umgadi, which is this mission to flush out armed syndicates, mountain camps, and industrial-scale gold theft hidden across our hills. But now here is where things get interesting. You see, some experts say that the real story runs deeper, that these zamas are just a front line, and that behind them is a web of syndicates smuggling South African gold to Dubai, Malaysia, and beyond. A system so entrenched that even insiders don't know who's really profiting. Now, please say that they've got a handle on it, but when you're fighting a shadow economy this big, 500 arrests is barely a scratch. And next up, not the best news I have to say. From October, Maersk will stop offering direct shipments from South Africa to the US, leaving MSC as the only remaining operator on that route. So this is a blow for our local exporters already reeling from the new 30% US tariff, with some analysts warning that this could make local goods uncompetitive. And so instead of sailing straight to New York, Maersk's cargo from Durban will now detour through Europe, adding 7 to 10 days plus extra costs. Some say that Maersk is tactically shuffling their global shipping routes, but other industry leaders aren't convinced. They argue that the loss of competition means higher rates, slower deliveries, and far fewer incentives to improve service. For years, South Africa's weekly direct shipping option was a key selling point for US buyers, not just price. And now between tariffs and these delays, exporters say that government risks losing a market they've spent decades building. And before we jump into the fascinating wildcard story, here's a few other headlines worth knowing. Petrol drivers get a small win today with a 28-cent price cut, but diesel users are in for more pain, up by as much as 65 cents. The hikes are due to low global diesel stockpiles and refinery shutdowns, especially in the US and Europe. According to NEC insiders, the ANC isn't ready to boot the DA from the GNU, but it is fed up, and now they want to invite Action SA and the NCC into the coalition. That means the chance of cabinet reshuffles is growing likely. And Nedbank is cutting ties with EcoBank after 17 years, selling its 21% stake to refocus on markets it controls directly in Southern and East Africa. This announcement came with good news for shareholders. Headline earnings are up 6%, and the bank declared a better than expected R10.28 interim dividend. And on to our wildcard section. There is a place just outside of Johannesburg called the Cradle of Humankind, and it might just be the most important patch of land on Earth. So this stretch of ancient grassland and limestone caves is where our story as a species appears to have begun. You see, more human ancestor fossils have been found here than anywhere else in the world. So it's where some of the oldest remains on Earth have been uncovered, like Littlefoot, a nearly complete skeleton reportedly over 3 million years old, and Mrs. Pless, one of the best preserved skulls of its kind. And also where previously unknown species like Homo naledi was discovered buried deep in underground chambers like a ritual nearly 250,000 years ago. And what's cool here is this isn't some dusty research site behind glass. At Sterkfontein Caves, you can literally walk through the same earth that held these remains for millennia. And at Marupeng, you can trace our path from prime survival to modern life. It's a World Heritage Site, a scientific gold mine, but more than that, it's a reminder that before we scattered across the world, we seem to have started right here, on this land, under this sky, in this cradle. And that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way until the end. Additionally, I just want to say thank you for being patient with us as we're testing out new formats and sections. We have a lot to look forward to over the next few weeks, and I'm just excited that you get to join us every step of the way. I'll catch you all tomorrow for the next round of the good stuff. Cheers.